Nathan Cross stood at the floor-to-ceiling windows of his penthouse office, watching the sunset paint Silicon Valley in shades of gold and amber. At 32, he commanded a tech empire worth billions, yet the view from the top felt emptier than ever. His reflection stared back at him from the glass, a successful man, who had everything money could buy, but nothing his heart truly wanted. The soft chime of his phone interrupted his thoughts. A text from his assistant reminded him about tomorrow's board meeting, followed by another about the charity gala next weekend. Nathan sighed, knowing he would attend alone again, fielding the same questions about his personal life from well-meaning colleagues and persistent reporters. His fingers traced the edge of his mahogany desk, stopping at a framed photo from his college graduation. In the picture, a younger Nathan stood beside a radiant girl with warm brown eyes and an infectious smile. Olivia Chen had been his closest friend since childhood, the one person who knew him before the money, before the fame. Before the walls he had built around his heart, the intercom buzzed, startling him from his memories. "Mr. Cross, your car is ready for the dinner appointment," his assistant announced through the speaker. Nathan grabbed his jacket and headed for the door. Tonight was another business dinner with potential investors, another evening of forced smiles and calculated conversations. As the elevator descended 30 floors to the garage, he wondered how much longer he could pretend that success was enough. The restaurant was exactly what Nathan expected: expensive, exclusive, and filled with people who wanted something from him. Marcus Thompson, a venture capitalist with silver hair and calculating eyes, dominated the conversation with talk of market trends and profit margins. Nathan nodded at appropriate moments, his mind elsewhere. "You know, Nathan," Marcus said over his third glass of wine, "you should really consider settling down. A family man inspires more confidence in investors. People trust stability." Nathan forced a smile. "I'm focused on the company right now. Smart strategy, but don't wait too long," Marcus continued. "I know several lovely young women from good families who would be perfect for someone in your position." The word position stuck in Nathan's throat like a bitter pill.
Oh.
Even his relationships were viewed as business transactions. He excused himself early, claiming an urgent call from overseas partners, driving through the quiet streets of Palo Alto. Nathan found himself taking a detour past the small coffee shop where he and Olivia used to study during their university. Days, warm light spilled from the windows, and he could see people inside laughing over steaming mugs. On impulse, he parked and walked inside. The familiar aroma of freshly ground beans and cinnamon welcomed him. He ordered a simple black coffee and found a corner table, pulling out his phone. His thumb hovered over Olivia's contact information for several minutes before he finally pressed call. Nathan Cross calling at 9 o'clock on a Tuesday night. Olivia's voice came through the speaker, warm with teasing affection. This must be serious. Despite his mood, Nathan smiled. "Hey, Liv, am I interrupting anything important? Just designing centerpieces for the Morrison wedding?"
Nothing that...
"Can't wait for my favorite billionaire." "You sound tired." "Long day," Nathan admitted. "Actually, long year, maybe long decade." There was a pause, and when Olivia spoke again, her voice carried genuine concern. "Are you okay? And don't give me that corporate speak you use with reporters." Nathan leaned back in his chair, suddenly feeling the weight of months of loneliness. "Remember when we were kids, and you used to say we would never lose touch no matter what happened? I remember. We haven't lost touch. But we've changed live. I've changed. Sometimes I look in the mirror and don't recognize the person staring back at me." Olivia was quiet for a moment.
Where are you right now? The Daily Grind? Remember this place?
At our old study spot.
I'll be there in 20 minutes.
Before Nathan could protest, the line went dead. He sat in the coffee shop, nursing his drink and watching late-night customers come and go. Students hunched over laptops, couples sharing dessert, friends catching up after long days. Everyone seemed connected to someone else, part of something larger than themselves. Olivia arrived exactly 20 minutes later, her dark hair windswept from the evening breeze. She wore a simple sweater and jeans, no makeup, completely natural and beautiful, in a way that made Nathan's chest tighten with familiar warmth. She ordered her usual caramel macchiato and settled across from him. "Talk to me," she said simply. Nathan struggled to find the right words.
Do you ever feel like you're living someone else's life?
"Sometimes, but usually when I'm trying to be someone I'm not." Olivia studied his face carefully. "What's really going on, Nathan?" "I went to another business dinner tonight. Another room full of people who see dollar signs when they look at me. Marcus Thompson spent 20 minutes explaining why I need to find a wife to improve my public image." Nathan laughed bitterly. "He offered to introduce me to suitable candidates." "Suitable candidates?" Olivia repeated, her nose wrinkling with distaste. "Like you're hiring for a position." "Exactly. And the worst part is, maybe he's right. Maybe I do need someone, but not for business reasons. I'm tired of being alone, Liv. I'm tired of going to events solo. Tired of eating dinner by myself. Tired of having no one to share good news with." Olivia reached across the table and covered his hand with hers. "You have me. Know what I mean? I want what normal people have. I want someone to love who loves me back, not my bank account. Or my connections. Then find someone where." Nathan's frustration bubbled over. Online dating apps where every match wants to know my net worth. Social events where mothers parade their daughters like prize horses. I can't tell who's genuine anymore. Olivia was quiet for several minutes, her finger tracing patterns on the wooden table. Nathan watched her think, remembering how she used to get the same expression when solving complex math problems in college. "I have an idea," she said finally. "It's completely crazy, but it might work. I'm listening. What if you didn't have to find someone? What if you already had someone?" Nathan frowned. "I don't follow." Olivia took a deep breath, as if gathering courage for what she was about to say. "What if we pretended to be together, just for a while until you figure out what you really want?" The suggestion hung in the air between them like a bridge neither was sure they should cross. Nathan stared at his oldest friend, searching her face for any sign that she was joking. "You mean like fake dating? Exactly? Think about it, Nathan. I know you better than anyone. I care about you. But I'm not after your money, because I have my own business. I already know all your embarrassing stories, so you don't have to pretend to be perfect." Olivia's enthusiasm grew as she spoke. "We could go to your business events together, and you would have someone who actually enjoys your company. No pressure, no expectations, just friendship with benefits." "Social benefits," Nathan clarified. "Right. I help you look settled and happy. And you help me network for my wedding planning business. Win-win." Nathan considered the proposal, his analytical mind working through the possibilities. It was unconventional, certainly, but not entirely without merit. Olivia was right about knowing him better than anyone else. She had seen him at his worst and still chose to be his friend. With her, he could be himself without worrying about judgment or ulterior motives. "What about your real love life?" he asked. "This would complicate things if you meet someone." Olivia shrugged. "I'm not dating anyone seriously right now. Honestly, my business keeps me so busy that I don't have much time for romance anyway. This could actually be perfect timing." "There would have to be rules," Nathan said slowly. "Clear boundaries about what this is and what it isn't." "Absolutely. We're friends helping each other out. Nothing more." Da-da-da-da-da. Nathan felt something shift inside his chest. A lightness he hadn't experienced in months. The idea of having a companion, someone to share experiences with, even if it was temporary and artificial, appealed to him more than he wanted to admit. "When would we start?" he asked. Olivia grinned, and Nathan was reminded of the girl who used to dare him to climb the highest trees in their neighborhood park. "How about this weekend? Didn't you mention a charity gala? The Children's Hospital fundraiser? It's a big event, lots of press coverage. Perfect debut for the happy couple." Nathan extended his hand across the table. "Partners?" Olivia shook. It firmly, "Partners." "But Nathan." "Yeah, promise me something. If this gets complicated, if feelings get involved, we stop immediately. I won't lose my best friend over a pretend relationship." Nathan looked into her earnest brown eyes and felt a flutter of something he couldn't quite name. "I promise." "Just business, right?" "Right, just business." But as they sat in the coffee shop, making plans for their fake romance, neither Nathan nor Olivia could have predicted how quickly the lines between pretense and reality would begin to blur. Sometimes, the heart wants what it wants. regardless of carefully constructed boundaries and logical arrangements. The stage was set for a love story that would challenge everything they thought they knew about friendship, love, and the courage it takes to risk everything for a chance at true happiness. The mirror in Nathan's walk-in closet reflected a man who looked confident and polished, but his hands betrayed his nervousness as he adjusted his black tie for the third time. Tonight was the Children's Hospital fundraiser and the debut of his relationship with Olivia. They had spent the week establishing their story, creating a timeline of how their friendship had evolved into romance. The doorbell echoed through his mansion, and Nathan's heart rate quickened. He had seen Olivia countless times over the years, but tonight felt different. Tonight, she would be his date, even if it was all pretend. Opening the front door, Nathan felt his breath catch in his throat. Olivia stood before him in an elegant, midnight blue gown that hugged her curves perfectly. Her dark hair was styled in a sophisticated updo, and she wore just enough makeup to enhance her natural beauty. She looked stunning, like she belonged in his world of luxury and glamour. "Close your mouth, Nathan. Flies might get in," Olivia teased, but her cheeks flushed pink at his obvious admiration. "Look incredible," Nathan managed, offering his arm. "Ready for our first performance?" "As ready as anyone can be for pretending to be in love with their best friend," Olivia replied, accepting his escort to the waiting limousine. During the drive to the Four Seasons Hotel, they reviewed their strategy. Olivia would be introduced as his longtime friend who had recently become something more. They would stay close, but not overly affectionate, maintaining the illusion of a new couple, still discovering their romantic feelings. "Remember," Olivia said, checking her lipstick in a compact mirror, "we've been dating for 2 months, but keeping it private because we wanted to make sure it was real before going public." "And you're expanding your wedding planning business to include corporate events," Nathan added, "which is how you'll explain networking at these functions." The hotel ballroom was a sea of designer gowns and expensive suits. Crystal chandeliers cast warm light over round tables, decorated with white orchids and gold accents. Nathan recognized most of the faces in the crowd: tech executives, venture capitalists, philanthropists, and society figures who made up Silicon Valley's elite social circle. Nathan Cross, the man of mystery, finally brings a date, called out Richard Hammond, a software mogul who had been trying to arrange business partnerships with Nathan for months. "And who is this lovely lady? Reacher? I'd like you to meet Olivia Chen." "Olivia, this is Richard Hammond from Hammond Technologies." Olivia extended her hand gracefully. "It's wonderful to meet you, Richard. Nathan has mentioned your innovative work in artificial intelligence." Richard beamed, clearly charmed by Olivia's genuine interest and knowledge. "How did you two meet?" "Nathan has been quite secretive about his personal life. We've actually known each other since college," Olivia explained, her hand finding Nathan's arm naturally. "We were best friends for years before we realized we were meant to be more than friends." The lie rolled off her tongue so smoothly that Nathan almost believed it himself. Throughout the evening, Olivia proved to be the perfect companion. She remembered names, asked intelligent questions about business ventures, and somehow made every person they spoke with feel important and heard. "Your girlfriend is impressive." Marcus Thompson appeared at Nathan's side while Olivia was in the ladies' room. "It's beautiful, intelligent, and she actually seems to care about you as a person rather than your portfolio." "Special, Nathan." Agreed, and was surprised to realize he meant it completely. "Where has she been hiding?" "I know most of the eligible women in our social circle. Olivia runs her own business. It's been focused on building her career, just like I have been." Marcus nodded approvingly. "A woman with ambition. Even better. You should bring her to the yacht club dinner next month. My wife would love to meet her." As the evening progressed, Nathan found himself relaxing into the role of devoted boyfriend. When Olivia laughed at something amusing a tech reporter said, Nathan felt proud that she was with him. When she placed her hand on his chest while they posed for photographers, his heart raced in a way that had nothing to do with performance anxiety. During dinner, they sat at a table with other prominent couples. Olivia charmed everyone with stories from her wedding planning career, describing elaborate ceremonies and bridezilla clients with humor and discretion. Nathan watched her animated face as she spoke, noticing details he had somehow missed during all their years of friendship: the way her eyes sparkled when she laughed, the graceful movements of her hands, the musical quality of her voice. "How long have you been planning weddings?" asked Patricia Thornton, wife of a prominent venture capitalist. "About 5 years now. I started the business after finishing my MBA. There's something magical about helping couples create the perfect beginning to their love story." "And now you're living your own love story," Patricia observed with a romantic sigh. "How did Nathan propose? Was it terribly romantic?" Nathan nearly choked on his wine, but Olivia handled the unexpected question without missing a beat. "Oh, we're not engaged yet," she said with a shy smile. "We're still in the honeymoon phase, just enjoying being together without pressure about the future." Nathan reached for her hand under the table, squeezing it gratefully. Her quick thinking had saved them from an awkward situation: the auction. Portion of the evening raised substantial funds for the children's hospital. Nathan bid generously on several items, including a week in Tuscany that he won for an impressive 6-figure sum. "Planning a romantic getaway?" Olivia whispered as applause filled the ballroom. "Maybe we should go," Nathan surprised himself by suggesting. "For appearances, of course. Couples take vacations together." Something flickered in Olivia's eyes, an expression Nathan couldn't quite read. "Of course, for appearances." As the evening wound down, Nathan and Olivia made their way through the crowd, accepting congratulations on their relationship and invitations to future events. Nathan realized that bringing Olivia had accomplished exactly what they had hoped. He was no longer seen as the lonely workaholic bachelor, but as half of an attractive, successful couple. In the limousine, heading home, they rode in comfortable silence for several minutes. Nathan watched the city lights blur past the window, processing the events of the evening. "That went well," Olivia said finally. "I think we convinced everyone. You were amazing tonight. I don't know how to thank you. You don't need to thank me. We're helping each other, remember?" Nathan turned to study her profile in the dim light. "Of the car, Olivia? Can I ask you something?" "Sure." "When you were talking about love stories and perfect beginnings tonight, you looked sad for a moment. Are you okay with this arrangement?" "If you'd rather find something real..." Olivia was quiet for so long that Nathan wondered if she was going to answer at all. "I'm fine with our arrangement," she said finally. "Sometimes I wonder what it would be like to have what my clients have. That head over heels, can't live without to kind of love. But I'm practical enough to know that fairy tales don't happen to everyone." Nathan felt an unexpected pang in his chest. "You deserve a fairy tale live." She smiled, but it didn't reach her eyes. "So do you, Nathan. So do you." Over the following weeks, Nathan and Olivia settled into their routine of public appearances and private friendship. They attended gallery openings, business dinners, and charity events together. Olivia moved through Nathan's world with grace and confidence. And Nathan found himself looking forward to their fake dates more than any real relationships he had ever had. The problem was that the lines between pretense and reality were becoming increasingly blurred. When Olivia laughed at his jokes, Nathan felt genuinely happy. When she straightened his tie before events, his pulse quickened. When she fell asleep on his shoulder during a particularly boring opera performance, Nathan spent the entire second act watching her peaceful face instead of the stage. "You're falling for her," his assistant Jennifer observed one Monday morning after Olivia had stopped by the office to drop off some papers. "Don't be ridiculous," Nathan protested. "We're just friends. Friends don't look at each other the way you two do. And she brought you homemade soup when you had that cold last week. That's girlfriend behavior." Nathan tried to dismiss Jennifer's observations, but they echoed his own growing awareness that his feelings for Olivia were evolving beyond friendship. The arrangement that had seemed so simple and logical was becoming complicated by genuine emotion. The situation reached a tipping point at the tech industry's annual Innovation Awards ceremony. Nathan had been nominated for Entrepreneur of the Year, and the black tie event was one of the most prestigious gatherings of the year. Olivia wore a stunning red gown that turned heads throughout the ballroom. Nathan felt proud to have her on his arm, but also increasingly possessive when other men approached to flirt with her. "Relax," Olivia whispered during cocktails. "You look like you want to challenge someone to a duel." "Sorry, I didn't realize how territorial I could be." "Just an act, remember?" Nathan nodded, but the words stung more than they should have. Everything felt real to him now. His attraction to Olivia, his desire to protect her, his growing need to be with her beyond their public appearances. When Nathan's name was called, as the winner of Entrepreneur of the Year, Olivia's face lit up with genuine pride and joy. She stood with the rest of the audience, applauding enthusiastically as he made his way to the stage. "Thank you for this incredible honor," Nathan began his acceptance speech, looking out at the sea of faces. "Success in business, like success in life, is never achieved alone. We all need people who believe in us, who support our dreams, and who remind us what truly matters." His eyes found Olivia in the crowd, beautiful and radiant as she smiled up at him. "I'm grateful for my team, my investors, and my board of directors. But most of all, I'm grateful for the person who taught me that the greatest achievement isn't building a company or accumulating wealth. It's finding someone who makes you want to be the best version of yourself." The applause was thunderous, but Nathan only heard his heartbeat as he realized what he had just done. He had essentially declared his love for Olivia in front of the entire tech industry. Backstage after the ceremony, Olivia found him clutching his award with shaking hands. "That was some speech," she said carefully. "Olivia, I don't." She held up her hand. "Whatever you're about to say, don't say it. We had an agreement. Agreements can change, not this one." Olivia's voice was firm, but Nathan could see tears, threatening in her eyes. "I won't be your rebound from loneliness, Nathan. I won't be the consolation prize because you can't find anyone else. That's not what this is, isn't it? You were desperate for companionship. I offered a solution. And now you think you're in love with me because I'm convenient and available." Nathan felt like she had slapped him. "You really think that little of me? I think you're confused. I think this arrangement was a mistake, and I think we need to end it before we destroy our friendship completely." The ride home was silent and tense. When the limousine stopped at Olivia's apartment, she turned to him before getting out. "I need some space, Nathan. We both do. Let's take a break from this and remember who we really are." Nathan watched her walk away, feeling like he was losing the most important thing in his life. The award in his hands felt heavy and meaningless. Success meant nothing without someone to share it with. The person he wanted to share everything with had just walked out of his life. 3 weeks passed without contact between Nathan and Nay. Olivia, the longest they had gone without speaking since reconnecting as adults. Nathan threw himself into work, but even closing major deals and expanding into new markets felt hollow without Olivia to share the victories with. His mansion felt like a mausoleum of memories. The garden where they had planned their fake relationship. The kitchen where Olivia had made him soup when he was sick. The living room where they had practiced their couple routine, every space. But reminded him of what he had lost. Jennifer finally intervened when Nathan snapped at 3 different employees. And one morning, "Call her," she said, placing his phone on his desk. "She doesn't want to hear from me. Have you tried?" She asked for space. That was 3 weeks ago. Maybe she's had enough space. Nathan picked up the phone, then set it down again. She was right. What if I only think I love her because she's convenient? Jennifer sat down across from his desk. "Mr. Cross, I've worked for you for 5 years. I've seen you with models, socialites, entrepreneurs, and actresses. I've never seen you light up the way you do when Olivia walks into a room. But how do? I know it's real, because you're miserable without her, because you turned down 3 major social events this month, because you didn't want to go alone, because you've been carrying around that jewelry box in your briefcase for 2 weeks. Nathan's hand moved instinctively to his briefcase, where a small velvet box had been residing since his impulsive shopping trip to Tiffany's the week before. That evening, Nathan found himself parked outside Olivia's apartment building, gathering courage to go upstairs. Through her window, he could see the warm glow of lamps and the silhouette of someone moving around inside. Just as he was about to get out of the car, the building's front door opened, and Olivia emerged. She looked tired and thinner than when he had last seen her. Her usual vibrant energy seemed dimmed, and Nathan felt a pang of guilt at the possibility that he had caused her pain. Olivia walked to her car without noticing Nathan's presence. On impulse, he followed her, curious about where she was going on a Thursday evening. She drove to the same coffee shop where their arrangement had begun. And Nathan watched through the window as she ordered her usual caramel macchiato and sat at their old table. Taking a deep breath, Nathan entered the coffee shop and approached her table. "Is this seat taken?" Olivia looked up, startled. Nathan, what are you doing here? Same thing you are, I think? Remembering. You followed me. I was already here. Well, outside. I was trying to work up the courage to call you. Olivia gestured to the empty chair. Sit down. They sat in awkward silence for several minutes, the easy camaraderie they had always shared replaced by careful distance. How have you been? Nathan asked finally. Fine. Busy. The Morrison wedding is next week, and the bride decided she wants to change the entire color scheme. Olivia's voice was polite but guarded. You? Terrible, actually. I miss you, Liv. I miss my best friend. Olivia's composure cracked slightly. I miss you too. Then come back. We can pretend the last month never happened. We can go back to being just friends, can we? Olivia met his eyes directly. Because I don't think I can pretend anymore, Nathan. Nathan's heart started racing. What do you mean? I mean, I fell for you too. Somewhere between the charity galas and the business dinners and the quiet moments in between, I fell completely and hopelessly in love with you. Tears started flowing down Olivia's cheeks. That terrifies me. Terrifies you, Olivia? That's the best news I've heard in weeks. No, it isn't, because I know how this ends. You'll get bored with me eventually. You'll realize that I don't fit in your world, that I'm not sophisticated enough, or rich enough, or important enough, and then I'll lose you completely. Nathan reached across the table and took her hands. Olivia Chen, you are the most sophisticated, intelligent, beautiful woman I have ever known. You don't need money to be important. You're important because of who you are, not what you have. You say that now? I say that because it's true. I've been with women who had everything money could buy, and none of them made me feel the way you do. None of them made me want to be a better man. Nathan pulled the velvet box from his pocket and placed it on the table between them. Olivia gasped, her free hand flying to her mouth. Nathan, what are you doing? Something I should have done years ago. Nathan opened the box to reveal a stunning, emerald-cut diamond ring surrounded by smaller stones that caught the coffee shop's warm light. Olivia, I'm not asking you to be my fake girlfriend anymore. I'm asking you to be my real wife. This is crazy. We've only been dating for a few months and it wasn't even real. The dating might have been fake, but my feelings are completely real. I love you, Olivia. I love your laugh, your kindness, your strength. I love how you make everyone around you feel special. I love that you see the best in people, including me. Olivia stared at the ring, tears streaming down her face. Nathan, I can't. This is too fast, too overwhelming. Then don't answer now. Take the ring. Take time to think about it, but know that I'm not going anywhere. I'll wait as long as it takes for you to trust that this is real. Nathan stood up, leaving the ring box on the table. I love you, Olivia Chen. That's not going to change whether you say yes or no. He walked out of the coffee shop, leaving Olivia sitting alone with the most important decision of her life sparkling. On the table in front of her, 2 days later, Nathan was in his office when Jennifer announced that he had a visitor. He looked up to see Olivia standing in his doorway, the ring box in her hand. I have an answer, she said simply. Nathan's heart pounded as he waited for her to continue. Yes, Olivia said, her face breaking into the radiant smile he had fallen in love with. Yes, I'll marry you. But not because you're rich or successful or because it's convenient. Then why? Olivia walked around his desk and stood directly in front of him. Because you're my best friend and the love of my life, and I can't imagine spending another day without you. Nathan stood up and kissed her, pouring all of his love and relief and joy into that single moment. When they finally broke apart, he slipped the ring onto her finger with shaking hands. I love you, he whispered against her forehead. I love you too. But Nathan? Yeah? No more fake relationships. From now on, everything between us is real. Deal. Though I have to warn you, marrying a billionaire comes with certain obligations. Charity galas, business dinners, society events. Olivia laughed, the sound filling Nathan's office with warmth and happiness. Good thing I've had practice then. 6 months later, Nathan and Olivia were married in an intimate ceremony in the garden of his Palo Alto mansion. The guest list was small, just family and close friends, who had supported their journey from friendship to love. Olivia wore a simple but elegant gown she had designed herself, and Nathan couldn't take his eyes off her as she walked down the aisle. During their vows, Nathan spoke about the courage it took to risk everything for love, and how Olivia had taught him that the greatest investment he could make was in their future together. Olivia promised to love him, not for what he had, but for who he was, and to remind him every day that the most valuable things in life couldn't be bought or sold. As they danced their first dance as husband and wife under the stars, Nathan reflected on how dramatically his life had changed. The loneliness that had once consumed him was gone, replaced by a love so deep and genuine that it still took his breath away. "Any regrets about our fake relationship experiment?" Olivia asked as they swayed to the music. "Only one," Nathan replied, spinning her gently. "What's that?" "That it took us so long to realize what was real." Olivia smiled and kissed him softly. "Good things are worth waiting for." In the end, Nathan discovered that love wasn't something that could be planned or arranged or faked. It was something that grew quietly in the spaces between friendship and trust, nurtured by shared laughter and honest conversation. His bold decision to ask Olivia for help had led him not just to companionship, but to the greatest love story of his life. And as they celebrated surrounded by the people who mattered most, Nathan knew that some risks were worth taking, especially when they led to a love that was completely, authentically, and beautifully real.